Hi, everybody, and welcome to Principles of Marketing here at Milligan University. I'm still getting used to saying university. I still want to say Milligan College. Um, but it is very nice to meet all of you guys, and I am very happy to be your instructor for this semester. My name is Matthew Harrison, and the easiest way generally to get in touch with me is via email. My email address is listed here for you. It's mtharrison@milligan.edu. Please don't forget the T. If you do, it goes to someone else. mtharrison@milligan.edu. Guys, I strive to be very responsive via email. I always hated taking classes myself in college when you would wait a week or two to hear back from your instructor, and I don't want to be that person for you. So I always respond to emails within 24 hours or less, so I will be here if you need to get in touch with me. That being said, if you email the night that something is due at 11:59, I may not be awake at that time, so it may be the next day before you hear from me, but always within 24 hours or less. Um, our class is set up to be totally asynchronous, and what I mean by that is there are no face-to-face meetings required, either in person or via Zoom. Everything will be handled totally on Canvas, and you get to work at your own pace in completing the course. That being said, everything is already open to you now. On day one, you have access to your assignments for week one, week two, week three, all the way to the end, to week 8. So you can work as far ahead as you would like to. That being said, you do still have specific due dates. Every Monday, I'll be reaching out to you via email and telling you what is due for the week. You'll also be able to already see that on the course calendar, which I'll show you in a second. But I'll be sending reminder emails to you every week at the beginning of the week, letting you know what you have to do for the week. And that'll be due by Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. each week. Okay. So that being said, if you know that week number 4 is just going to be crazy for you, or maybe you're going on vacation, or life happens, whatever it is, you can work ahead in week 3. Go ahead and do assignments for week 3 and week 4 during week 3. So generally, I am pretty easy to get along with, guys, and I'm here to help you in any way that I can. So we're going to just sort of hit a few of the highlights here on the syllabus. Obviously, my goal for you this semester is to learn a little bit about marketing. You're not going to leave as a marketing expert. This is Principles of Marketing, so it sort of unlocks all those future courses for you, everything from promotion to consumer behavior and social and mobile marketing. You're going to learn a lot about several different subjects, and then if you choose to go on and study marketing more specifically, you will have the option of doing that. This is the textbook we're going to be using this semester. It is Gruhl and Levy's 6th edition of marketing. It's the one with the chocolate strawberry on the front, so it's going to make you hungry every time you look at it. I'm sorry. You do not have to purchase this in the bookstore, though you certainly can. The ISBN number is listed here for you. A lot of students like to purchase the book on Amazon or on chegg.com, Chegg, chegg.com, and I will send links to both of those in the introductory email that I send to you, so you'll be able to find them there. You can buy it in the bookstore, it's just a little more expensive. People always ask me, well, Mr. Harrison, do I need an actual book, a physical book, or can I buy an ebook? And that is totally up to you. It does not matter to me at all. It's your personal preference. I am old school and I like to draw and write and take notes in my book, so I want a physical book, but if you are an ebook person, that's totally cool. As far as how your grade is calculated in this course, I'm going to sort of talk in a circle here for a second, but I think it'll make sense for you. I try to keep the same structure every single week for you so that it's not confusing and you kind of get into a routine and know what to do each week. So basically during the fall or the spring semester, I would have students just read one chapter each week and then do a quiz and have a written assignment about that one chapter. You all are a little different because you're in the summer section. You all are taking what I normally do over 16 weeks in fall or spring, and you're shoving it into only 8 weeks. So it's sort of double the pace if you think about it that way. So that being said, each week you're going to be reading 2 chapters in this textbook here with the lovely chocolate-covered strawberry on the front. The chapters are not super long. Every chapter is around approximately 30 pages, give or take. And so you'll be reading 2 of those each week. For every chapter in your book, I have a YouTube video lecture that I would like for you to watch. And it's sort of like what you're doing right now. We just hit the highlights of the chapter and make sure you understand it. So you're going to do that every week. You're going to read your 2 chapters, watch your 2 YouTube video lectures. And then I've also created a series of Quizlets for each chapter. And if you've never used Quizlet, it's super awesome. They're kind of like virtual flashcards, and you get to go through and just study those key terms and make sure you know the major takeaways from the chapter. And the reason you're doing that, the reason I'm having you read and then watch the video and then study the Quizlet is because you have a quiz for each chapter. And that quiz is not there to be a gotcha kind of thing. It's not supposed to trick you. It is just there to see what you've learned. Students usually tell me that if you've actually read the chapter and you have watched the video and you studied the Quizlet, that it's very easy to get a 100 on those. The quizzes are cumulative, so what that means is whenever you go on to week 2, your questions on your quiz may include stuff from week 1 and week 2. When you go into week 3, it may include questions from weeks 1, 2, and 3, all put together. And the reason I do that is so that whenever you do get to the final exam at the end of the semester, you have seen all of the questions before, and you feel very comfortable with them, you remember it, and it's really stuck with you. And when you go into your future marketing courses, you have that foundation that you need to be successful later. So again, same thing every week. You are reading your 2 chapters in the book, watching your 2 YouTube video lectures, 1 for each chapter, studying your Quizlet, and taking the quiz. After you've done that, you have some type of written assignment to do for each chapter. So that means you're going to have 2 written assignments a week. The written assignments vary from discussion boards to case studies to marketing application responses. We'll start by talking about the discussion boards. Okay, so like many of your other classes, when you do a discussion, you're going to be responsible for posting your initial thoughts and then replying to 2 other people in the class. What's different about my course is you can sort of think of this as like a paper that you're writing. I'm going to give you some type of critical thinking question, and you're going to have to provide your thoughts, your opinions on that particular question and defend your opinion. Your initial post should include not only your opinion, but also 2 key terms from our textbook. And what I mean when I say key terms is at the end of every chapter, you have a list of, it's titled key terms, and you have a list of those at the end of the chapter. They're also the bolded words that you find as you're going through and reading the chapter. So as you are writing your paper for your discussions and your other assignments, I want you to go in and actually cite your textbook as a source using APA format and tell me how that key term supports whatever point you're making. In addition, you're also going to be using 2 external sources on every assignment, all the written assignments at least, in this course. And that's where you're actually going to go out to a scholarly journal, the Milligan Library website, and find a source that defends whatever point you're trying to make. And I will show you how to do that in just a moment. So in summary, for your discussion board, you're going to type this initial post, which is sort of like a paper where you've answered the question as fully as possible. You've included 2 key terms from your book, those bolded words, and 2 external sources, everything cited using APA format, and submitting it. And then once you've got your initial post up, you need to read 2 other people's posts and reply to them with your thoughts. Remember, it's not enough just to say, I agree, or good thought. You need to actually explain, well, I agree with you, Brian, because when theory XYZ comes into play, blah, blah, blah. Make sure you're actually defending your points there. Okay, so that's how the discussion boards work. The case studies are really cool. They're probably my favorite assignment in the class. You read some type of real-world scenario, some type of actual real-world problem, and they're very short, like a page, 2 pages at most, and you're reading about that problem, and then you have to come up with a solution to the problem and actually solve it. And again, in your solution, in your paper that you're writing up, I want you to include 2 chapter concepts from your text backing up what you're saying, and also at least 2 external sources backing up what you're saying. and those external sources are generally scholarly in nature. Okay, and then finally, the marketing application responses are the same thing. You're asked a series of questions here, usually 5 or 6, pertaining to something that you've read or watched in the YouTube video. Again, they're critical thinking questions where you have to apply what you're learning. Again, you're going to use 2 key terms and 2 external sources to defend your opinion there in your response. So it's sort of the same thing every week. Okay, so again, you are reading those 2 chapters. You're watching those 2 YouTube video lectures. You're studying with the Quizlets. You're taking your quizzes. And then you're doing your written assignments, 1 for each chapter. All of the written assignments, the discussion boards, the case studies, and the marketing application responses, all of those require that you integrate 2 key terms, aka bolded words from your textbook, and 2 external sources. Okay, I think that's pretty clear. If you have questions about that, let me know. This is the grading scale that we're going to be using for your course. So 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, so on and so forth. Guys, I do accept late work, and I understand that things happen, and you have families, you have a life, and life happens. Things are inevitably going to be late sometimes. But that being said, in this course where everything is open on day 1 and you can go ahead and start working week 1, week 2, week 3, and work ahead, there's really no excuse for anything to be late. So I always hate taking off points for late credit. So please just make sure you're staying on top of it. Work ahead if you can. It will make it less overwhelming for you. Okay, going back to those written assignments, the case studies, the discussion boards, and the marketing application responses, I told you that all of these submissions require 2 key terms and 2 external sources. I created what's called a submission template to help you with that, but you don't have to use the template. It's just here to help you. So you can see on our Canvas homepage under General Course Information, there's our syllabus, which we've been flipping through together. And then you have the submission template example and the submission template. The template is just a blank document that has sort of the bare bones, the skeleton of those things you need to use. The template actually shows a completed example. So I'm going to open up an example from a past semester here and show you. So you can see this particular discussion. The student had her name here, and I took it out. She had the title of the assignment, discussion board about place, and then she had the date. She listed, for number 1 and number 2, there were 2 questions. She listed her key term here and underlined it. She actually used more than 2 key terms. She's used several. Down here she used limited assortment supermarket. Up here she used electronic data interchange, vendor managed inventory. So she has several in here. This is all you have to do is answer the question and underline your key term. Okay, it doesn't have to be in this template. You just need to answer the question and underline your key term. She also has used those 2 external sources to defend her answer, and you can tell every time that she uses an external source because she cites it using APA format. So here, she's actually used direct quotes. She starts with her quotation, she includes this direct quote, she ends her quotation, she puts the author's last name and the page number. Really, you just need the author's last name and the year of publication. That's it. But so she cited it there. And then down here, she's done another one. She used Seth and Randall 2011, and she cited it. And this was a paraphrase instead of a direct quote, which is totally fine. According to Seth and Randall 2011, blah, blah, blah. Cite your source. So it's been used here. And then at the end, she cites her references using APA formatting in alphabetical order. They should be in alphabetical order. So those are there. I'm not a stickler, guys, about the citations. I want to make sure you know how to do it. It is a marketing department requirement, so we want to make sure you have those in there and you're using the sources, but you're not going to lose 50,000 points if you cite it wrong. Okay, as long as I can tell that you've tried to cite your source, that is the big thing. So again, under our general course information, you can see that submission template in the example. If you've never used APA formatting and you're just like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know how this works, I've given you several useful sources here. There is the Purdue OWL, which is like a godsend. If you've never used the Purdue OWL, it is wonderful. It will walk you through every single step of the process in solving how to cite your source. It will tell you whether you're doing a book or a journal article or a YouTube video. It will tell you how to cite all of those things. You also have an APA cheat sheet if you need more help. People always tell me, well, where do I go to get these scholarly sources? What are my options? So the Milligan Library website is your best option, and you can go here and under the MC search, type in whatever you're looking for. So you can type in pricing strategies or pricing tactics. What people often mistake here is if you're writing a discussion board about the pricing tactics of Apple's iPhone, don't search Apple iPhone, don't search Apple, don't search iPhone. Search the key terms, search whatever it is in your book in marketing that you're trying to figure out. Search pricing tactics, search pricing strategy. Don't search iPhone or Apple, okay? And then, of course, it'll pop up with many things for you there. Google Scholar is also an awesome resource. If you've never used Google Scholar before, you do the same thing. You just type in marketing strategies, pricing strategies, click the search button, and it will pop up with many sources that you can use, okay? This should be very easy. I've also given you links to 3 of my favorite sources for finding great articles. You have the American Marketing Association, the Journal of Marketing, and the Journal of Business Research. All of those are wonderful resources as you're looking for scholarly sources each week. And then you have a sample APA format paper at the end. Okay, so in summary, all of your submissions should be using the same thing essentially each week. All of your submissions need to include a full answer to the question where I can see that, hey, this guy has genuinely read the chapter, he watched all the YouTube videos, and he has just thoroughly answered this question. I want to see that you also have those 2 key terms and your 2 external sources. Okay, and then finally, I'm asking you to save it as a PDF. And people always ask, well, Mr. Harrison, why do I have to save this as a PDF? What's the point in that? Well, the point in that is that Canvas can be picky sometimes, and we're all using different computers. Some people are using Mac, some people are using a Dell computer, an Acer, whatever it might be, and Canvas is just picky. So it loves PDFs. PDFs always work. You'll notice pretty much everything I give you is in a PDF format, so it's very user-friendly. So if you're not sure how to save a PDF, here on the home screen under how to save a PDF, I've given you step-by-step directions with screenshots, and it's very simple. When you're in Microsoft Word or whatever program you're using and you have your document finalized and you're ready to turn it in, go to File, Save As. It'll pop up with a screen that looks like this. Make sure you give your assignment whatever title you want. So Matthew Harrison Assignment 1, Matthew Harrison Assignment 2, whatever it might be. Once you've determined your appropriate title, go over here under File Format at the bottom and click the little drop-down arrow there that pops up, and it automatically selects Word Doc for you. You want to go down here and click the PDF button and then click Save. It'll save it for you as a PDF, and then you just upload it in Canvas as you would normally. So pretty easy there, pretty straightforward, hopefully. Academic integrity, guys, don't cheat. Use your own work, do your own work. I'm pretty easy to get along with, no cheating. If you have a disability and you need extra time or any kind of accommodations, talk to me. I'm glad to give you those. Just in general, if you've never taken an online class, just some general information for you here. This class is totally online, 100%. There are no face-to-face meetings. There are no Zoom meetings. It is totally a work-at-your-own-pace class. Remember, everything is due each week by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. I'll email you every Monday with what you're supposed to be doing for the week. I post those here in Canvas under announcements, and you automatically get an email. So please make sure you're checking your email. You'll get those announcements from me. I recommend that you're logging into Canvas pretty frequently, several times a week. I email you anytime there's something really important you need to know. I'll always email you every Monday, so please take the time to read those. Remember that this is 16 weeks of information crunched down into only 8 weeks. So it's important that you are paying attention, you're staying actively involved. Normally, in a traditional semester in the fall or the spring, I tell students to devote between 8 to 10 hours to the class to be successful. So in the summer, you can kind of double that. I would recommend between 16 and 20 hours in order to be successful. That being said, sometimes people see that number and freak out. Everybody wants to know, well, how much time is this going to take, And it's different for everybody. Some people read really fast and pick up on things really fast and do very well, You can probably do it in less time. Other people take way longer and have to reread things and really study. So it just depends on you as a person and you as a student as to what works for you. But the course is very doable. Everything is open to you. You work at your own pace. So if you budget your time properly, it should be very easy for you to be successful. Okay. Speaking of, this is the tentative course calendar. I would go ahead, if you have a smartphone, go through your phone and save all these dates in there so you know exactly what to do. I will tell you guys, I mentioned this earlier, I hated taking classes in college with those professors who never responded to my emails, or it took them forever to respond to my emails, so I will get back to you in 24 hours. I also hated those classes where you didn't get feedback very quickly, so I won't do that to you either. Everything is due on Sunday at 11:59. So here in week one, when you turn everything in on June the 28th at 11:59, I will be grading it for you on the 29th and on the 30th, and I will be getting that stuff back to you in week two. You will not get it back 3 weeks later. You will get it back the next week. So you'll have feedback to know, hey, I'm doing this right, or hey, whoa, I need to study that. I didn't quite understand that. You'll get feedback quickly. Also, I also hated those classes where there were surprises. I hate surprises, okay? This is everything you're going to have to do from the class from beginning to end. If it is not on this tentative course calendar, it is not happening, okay? This is everything you're going to have to do. There are no surprises. It is laid out for you. So please take note of that. Work ahead. Don't get behind. You can see, for example, for week one, you're going to be reading the syllabus. You can check that off your to-do list because if you're watching this video, we've already gone over that together. You should be ordering the textbook. Again, you'll get an email from me with a link where you can order that very easily. And you should be familiarizing yourself with the class. There's also a syllabus quiz. It is linked here under in Canvas under week one. You can see here syllabus quiz, assignments due this week. Click on it and take it. It's just to see that you understand and you agree to the terms and conditions in the syllabus. There's also a pre-test about marketing. This is just for me to see what you already know about marketing. Some people know nothing. Others have a lot of information already, so that's just for me to see kind of what you already know. And when you take the pre-test, which is also linked here under week one, assignments due this week, it's going to give you a grade. It's going to give you 50 out of 100 or 40 out of 100 or 35 out of 100. Do not freak out, okay? This is a completion grade, so Canvas is going to give you a real grade, but I will go in during week two when I grade your assignments, and I will fix that. If you made an attempt, even if you only got one question right, you're still going to get 100, so don't freak out when Canvas grades it for you, okay? So again, reading the syllabus, ordering the book, taking the syllabus quiz, taking the pre-test. There's a little intro discussion board just for us to get to know each other. I always like to get to know you all as people. So in the intro discussion, just tell me who you are. Hello, I'm Matthew Harrison. I'm from Kingsport. I have a cat named Thomas. I love watching Netflix, blah, blah, blah. Tell us about yourselves, what you do for a living, so on and so forth. Okay, and then when you get into the actual content of the course, the first week you're responsible for reading chapters 1 and 5 in your textbook. You need to watch the YouTube video lectures for chapters 1 and 5, and those are conveniently linked for you here. You just click to open them, and then click play to watch. Okay, here are those Quizlets you need to be studying for chapters 1 and 5. Once you've done that and you're ready, you can go ahead and take the chapter 1 and the chapter 5 quizzes. Those are linked for you here under assignments due this week, chapter 1, chapter 5. And then there is a discussion board for chapters 1 and 5. That is the written assignment that will require your 2 key terms and your 2 external sources, all cited using APA format. You can click on that there and work on it. If you're struggling to understand anything, there's some additional videos here that can help you, that will give you a little bit more guidance if you need that as you're completing your assignments. And then when you finish all that stuff, hey, go ahead and work on to week 2 and week 3 and week 4 and just keep working. Don't get behind, okay? Guys, I hope this has been helpful to you. If you have questions about anything at all, no matter how small, again, my email is mtharrison@milligan.edu. I'm happy to Zoom with you, Skype with you, talk on the phone with you, email, whatever, to make sure that you have a good experience, okay? So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful summer, and I will be here virtually talking to you. Have a great day.